Hello, class, and welcome to Caring for the Ministry Leader's Soul from Moody Bible Distance Learning. This is your fearless leader, Professor Jeff, and welcome to Week 6. Week 6. We're almost there. I have been grading today, and I have been reading about how Elijah was sustained physically and spiritually, that God sent an angel to encourage him. He fed him. He told him to take a nap. Elijah was depressed. Elijah was out of options. Elijah said, "Kill me, God. I'm the only one left." And God clarified his call. God motivated him for mission. God spoke to him in a still small whisper, and all of you got this. But this is my prayer for you, that it's not just a grade that you get on a paper that you wrote this week, but that somewhere down the road, I've been in ministry 25 years. If you haven't sat by a brook and said, "God, kill me, I'm the only one left," you haven't been in ministry long enough. You will come to that place. And when you do, my prayer for you is that you would remember what you learned from Elijah this week. Not the grade you got, but what you learned. Okay? That's my prayer for you. Ministry's hard. It's hard. And most people who start out in ministry, I think the stats are something like 80% that start out in full-time ministry don't end in full-time ministry. I'm one of those people. I am. My calling's a little bit different because I'm a counselor and some other things, but I burned out and did not take care of myself. So I just think it's so incredibly ironic and wonderful that I get to teach this class, because I get to say, take care of yourself, please, because I didn't do that very well. So learn the lesson of Elijah and of Daniel and of Jesus in the garden and of Moses and all the other people that you talked about. I was thoroughly encouraged by your papers today. My wife is having a procedure tomorrow. We don't know whether it's going to work or not. I honestly am a little anxious, and I was thoroughly encouraged today by your papers. So thank you, personally. Thank you. All right, week 6. You're going to answer 3 questions for your reflection paper. How do you keep God on your heart all day long? 2, what pain drives you to God? That's a good question. 3, what small or large obediences to God can you celebrate? Now remember, double space these papers, please. Double space, okay? Double space. Helps me read. But then also, I would really encourage you to be vulnerable with this. Be transparent with this. Because this kind of reflection paper really kind of drives you to where you really are. And as a pastor and as a counselor, I'm always asking, where are you really with Jesus? See, what people want to tell you is how they were a year ago, or how they were when they were 12 at a camp, or how. No. Right now, today, how are you? What pain is driving you to God? Are you able to keep God on your mind throughout the day? What celebrations, small celebrations, can you do? Can you celebrate? Obediences can you celebrate? So then your discussion board, we're going to talk about call. So what efforts have you seen in your life that have been blessed? When have you felt the most alive in ministry? And what does that say about what you think might be your calling? Now, your calling isn't maybe to one particular thing. In my life, I have worked at a psychiatric hospital. I have worked at a detention center. I have worked in residential with sexually aggressive teenagers. I have worked in a church for 15 years. I have worked for Moody. I have worked in public schools. I have worked in private schools. But all of that is kind of wrapped up in the gift of teaching. And that's my calling. So my calling isn't maybe to a particular thing, but the gift of teaching has led me to 5 different states and multiple incredible experiences. So I would encourage you to think deeply on this. I know you don't have a lot of time. I had a discussion with a student about that this week. You know, these classes go by so fast, but think about your calling, because you are called. You are. You're special. You are. Okay, so the question of the week. If you could have lunch with anyone who's ever lived, not Jesus, we're going to eat lunch with him forever, right? Not Jesus, excluding Jesus, anyone who ever lived, who would it be? That's your question of the week. So, any questions, any comments, any prayer requests? I would ask you to pray for my wife. She's having a block at 11 tomorrow. She's pretty anxious about it. I'm pretty anxious about it. We need it to work. We need pain. She needs pain relief. Please help them to figure something out. That's the prayer. Okay? So, all right, onward and upwards.